Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome back to another My Little Pony Adventures in Equestria, the deck building game by Renegade Studios. This is Princess Pageantry. This is one of the brand new expansions, and like all the previous expansions, it of course requires a core set to play. But what's also nice about them is you can pick them up and pretty much just play them right out of the box as well. You have to combine with your core set, your starter cards, your sugar cubes, your tokens, your resource tokens, all that stuff. Other than that, it has 9 new hurdles, 4 new challenges to play through them, so you get some randomized there. 4 new character cards, 5 brand new locations. I believe one of them is also a starting location as well. Yep, so you do have a starting location as well. Has some new situation cards, some new references. This actually has a new mechanic called festival cards. So this is going to be a little bit of a switch in there. And the characters here are a little, I don't want to say overpowered. They have some extra bonus effects, which are kind of neat. They went a little bit out of the way for these, which is neat because it just shows all the different stuff you can do for the game. So, alright, we're going to go ahead. I'm just going to hop into the book quick, and we can take a look at some of the new mechanics for the game. So I'm going to jump actually towards the back of the book first, and we're going to look at, just do a quick rerun over keywords that have, or new mechanics that have been in previous expansions but were not in the base game. So one is for discovering a trait or a keyword. All this means is to discover as you count any named traits, which are your star, moon, or mountain symbols, or any keyword, which are the bolded words such as leader, wonderbolt, crusader, pet, classmates, various things like that. So any number of cards in your hand, under your control on the table, in the hands of other players, or under their control. It's a co-op game, so you guys work together. So it's really fun. It's a lot easier to find them. And then you get a bonus. Some might say if you discovered any of them. Some might give you a bonus for each one you discover. It's just kind of a neat way to like mix and match the games around. If you want a game a little bit easier, make sure you have a lot of cards like that work together. If you want a game a little bit harder, you can take some of them out or have limited access to them. So very, very simple and easy that way. The other, again, newish key or mechanic is adventure roll call out. So some cards have the text adventure roll before their effect. If these are in the adventure roll where you purchase cards, they're active. But once you purchase them, buy, gain, whatever, they no longer have that. Lots of times this is stuff that says, well, this is an adventure roll. You can pay this to get this effect, or you could, if you discovered this card, you can get this for cheaper, and things like that. Alright, so from there, we're going to jump back to the beginning. We're going to look at some of the new stuff. So we have 4 brand new ponies. We have Princess Celestia, her sister, Princess Luna, the dignified Princess Candace, and her heroic shining armor. So we're going to get our 4 meeples for those, not meeples, our 4 standees for those. We're also going to get some other tokens. We're going to have some Celestial tokens, and some Luna tokens, which will be for our Princess Celestia and Princess Luna, respectively, as well as some presents, which we'll go over a little bit later. And here again mentioned there 4 starter cards. You also notice that Princess Candace and Shiny Armor have 2 starter cards. It's an extra special thing for them. So each of the 4 ponies has a unique extra starting mechanic and in-game mechanic, which makes them interesting to use together. But you're always allowed to mix and match with other players. So as you buy more expansions, you might choose to use one of these. Someone else might use a different one. Other than this, kind of just goes through. We do have 1 new starting location, Canterlot Castle, which is nice. You can shuffle that in. Now, it does say make a location deck with 10 cards. This only includes 6, so you will have to use some from the starter deck. But it's nice that you're not having to use just the starter deck card with like 1 or 2 new cards. It's going to mostly be these, because you could put these 6 on the top and put the other 4 on the bottom. and then you need to actively go through these first. Other than that, all this is basically the same, so not going to get too much into all of that. So the other new mechanic here is Princess Power. So Princess Celestia and Princess Luna each come with Luna tokens. So basically how these work, and we do get extra little cards for them. So I'm going to actually just put the card up here for this, and we'll just go through it this way. I'm going to drop my camera down a bit. Alright, so for Luna's Law, and we'll have one for Celestia as well, it'll be the same idea. So during setup, give this card to the Princess Celestia or Luna player, along with their Celestia or Lunar tokens. They gain one to start with. So they start with one of the 4 tokens. The other 3 sit off to the side, and then as you do things, you can gain them. How do we earn them? So if we flip one over, it says, when they gain 1 or more resource tokens, they may instead choose to opt to get one of the Luna or Celestial tokens. So basically, and actually this is kind of showing here, is they paid for, did the effect to gain 2 tokens, they turned one of the +2 into a Celestial token. So at any point after you have these tokens, says discard any number of these tokens listed, use one of the abilities on the character side below, then flip your character to its flip side. So they have to be on their starting side to use these, but they gain extra effects for these. Now these tokens though, the thing that's going to make these a little bit more tricky is because now once they've been flipped, they can't be used for anything else. You can't spend them as a resource, you can't discard them as resource tokens. So they're kind of taking up one of them other ones, but they're going to give you some interesting benefits. So I'm going to just quickly pop up these characters and we'll look at them and then we'll go into the other characters after that. So let me back up a little bit here for Princess Celestia's oversized card. My camera's being a pain, sorry. Alright, so Princess Celestia says, starting side, you may use the command ability on her card, and if you do, you flip this. Simply flip her over. It says, you may flip this card to its starting side when your team successfully overcomes a hurdle, even if you are not the active player. So this is kind of just showing that this is how powerful these abilities can be. Because once you do it, you have to wait till you get a hurdle. So lots of the other characters are going to have abilities to flip and reflip their cards over and over by paying resources and tokens or whatever. The princesses are going to be basically the same way. So Princess Luna, you may use your law ability if you do flip this card, and same idea. You flip this card to the starting side when you complete a hurdle. Being that you only have 3 hurdles in the game at a time, means you're only going to be able to use these abilities so many times. What do the abilities actually do, though? So Celestia's commands say, if you have one of her tokens, you may discard it for a target player to draw 2 cards. If you have 2, target player gains 1 sugar cube. And if you have 3, remove 2 clouds from the active hurdle or the final challenge. So if you get all 4 of them, you can spend it. Now, there's definitely the potential to save up to 4 or 2, then beat a hurdle, flip it back over, save up, use it again. And there are other cards in the game that might let you flip your character over again using an effect, and you get to use that ability multiple times during the same hurdle. So it's not like it locks it per the hurdle. It's just, they're fairly powerful. And then Lunas are very similar. For 1, target player removes 1 card from their discard pile from the game. At 2, gains 1 sugar cube. And at 3, gain 1 card that costs 5 luck or less from the adventure roll and add it to your hand. So the middle one's nice, the extra cube. That's probably the one you're going to get easily because you'll start with 1. It should be fairly easy to get a second one. And that can be very helpful for overcoming challenges because the chaos flips over, you can see what you're going to get. Their first ones are okay. Either draw a card or discard. Not bad. If you want to go ahead and use it, like, hey, you're about to complete a hurdle, you could go ahead and spend 1 if you have nothing else to spend it on. you know, to at least get that effect, then your character can flip back over. At least you've got to use it once. The last ones are pretty good. 2 clouds or a free 5 card cost. Very good, big, powerful effects. But not to leave them out like other characters, they also get their extra starting card. So Princess Celestia's is Gotcha. Get +3 luck, book, or move if you have discovered at least 3 of the same trait. So this is going to be one that's a very powerful card again, but it's only going to be useful later in the game. Early on, you're not going to have the same trait. The trait is the little symbol up at the top, so you'll find them fairly quick, but it might, you know, not going to happen on turn 1. And then Luna says, the fun has been doubled. So she gets 1 of each. Double all resources provided by this card if the team has overcome at least 2 hurdles. So again, this is, again, it's not going to be useful until later in the game. So this could definitely be one you could debate whether you want to keep sitting around, or if you want to use it later on in the game. Alright, then our next 2 ponies, we'll look at that and then we'll come back to their abilities, is we have Princess Candace, flip and pay 1 sugar cube. Place up to 2 cards from your discard pile into your hand. Nice, get your cards back. And then when we're flipped, to get her back over, it says you may flip this card to its starting side when your team has successfully overcome a hurdle, even if you are not the active player. So again, same idea, it's a little bit more of a powerful starting ability. Because basically saying, let's say I play a big giant 7 cost card and, you know, a 5 cost card, I could flip that over, get them back on the same turn. That's pretty darn powerful. So that's why they're limiting it to kind of like only be able to use like 2 or 3 times throughout the game. Her starting card is Shine, Shine, Ladybugs Awake. Discard 1 card from your hand and the target player draws 1 card. Very helpful, like, team-up ability. Shining Armor. One of the few guy cards, there's not a lot of guy ponies in this game, has flip and pay 1 sugar cube to remove up to 2 cards in your discard pile from the game. So, Candace lets you get cards back. He lets you remove cards. And then flip over, same idea. Wait until you finish a hurdle. His card is Big Brother Best Friend Forever. You pay 2 less luck to buy your next action card this turn. That can be very powerful during the early game, which is not bad. So then, their special mechanic to kind of, I guess, compete or work against Luna and Celestia's power is they have extra starting cards, which I'm going to call bond cards. I don't think there's an official name, but we have, for Candace, we have Love is in Bloom. You may play this card from your hand on Shining Armor's turn, as if he played it himself, gaining extra luck. So normally it provides 1 luck, 1 movement. But if you play it on his turn, he gains 1 luck, 1 movement, plus an extra luck. And Shining Armor has the same thing, 2 hearts becoming 1. So it's 1 luck, 1 book. And it says you may play this on Princess Candace's turn after she played it herself, gaining an extra luck. So essentially what these cards are letting you do is you can, if you're playing both of these characters, you can play a card on somebody else's turn to help them out, give them an extra bonus as well. Or you can just play it on your turn, getting the easy starter stuff. But it also does give you an additional starter card over everybody else. But if you're not playing with both of these characters, then this extra card is not useless, but it doesn't have the extra bonus. Alright, so we do have a new card type as well. We have the Festival, but I will go over that after we go through all the deck, because it's a fairly new mechanic that can be added or removed from the game. It's not a necessary to play mechanic. Alright, so first thing we're going to look at is we are going to look at our locations. So I'm going to move my camera back down just a little. Get a little bit closer. Alright, so we're going to start with Canterlot Castle. This is our repeatable, our starting location. Repeatable task. Discard the top card of your deck to gain 1 resource that you have none of. Nice. And this could work really well with Luna and Celestia because you could gain that resource token and then swap it to one of their other ones. Task. Pay 2 books. Target player draws a card and discards 1 card. And then the last one is pay 1 sugar cube to flip all starting characters to the starting side. So right here, like I said, those cards are very powerful, but there are ways around it. You could definitely just pay a sugar cube to flip them over and use them again. So if you built up your 4 tokens, you could use that special effect, flip your character back over, and start doing, or you could wait until after you've saved up enough tokens to be able to do it again. Oh, I only got 1 token. Yeah, we're going to beat the hurdle. I'm not too worried about it. You know, but hey, I've got 3 of them. I could flip it back over and potentially have that ability ready for the hurdle challenge. So pretty cool. Alright, Froggy Bottom Bog. Task, pay 2 luck to remove 1 card in your discard pile from the game. Pay 3 to gain 2 different resource tokens. Or pay 8 to gain 3 blue sugar cubes. Pay 1 less for each cloud, a max of 6 on the final challenge. Oh, that's fun. Lots of sugar cubes, very helpful. 8 is a high cost, but being able to reduce it basically as they're getting worse and worse in the game, that's neat. And we're going to have very similar effects on the rest of these. Yakistan. Task, discard up to 3 cards from your hand to gain 1 resource token for each discarded card. Pay 4 to gain 2 resource tokens, which may be distributed to target players, and pay 8 to gain 3 pink, 1 less for each, a max of 4. Wonder why that one's a max of 4. Like, are pink harder? Is it blue, pink, and then green, like difficulty for getting? That might be it. And then we have Ponhenge. Pay 2 to distribute up to 3 sugar cubes you control to the other players. That's also a repeatable task. Pay 3 to move, draw 1 card, and gain 1 sugar cube. Or pay 8 to gain 3 green cubes. Pay 1 less for each situation. Max 3 in the adventure row. Okay, so this is, that's why this is 3, because it's situations. You're not going to have a lot of that. Oh, I see. There's the difference. I did miss that. This is up to 6 on the final challenge. So that could be persistent. This is up to 4, but it's only on the active hurdle. And then this one's on the adventure roll. That's why they have different max amounts. And they're different things. Awesome. And our last location is another Ponyville card. I like that there's enough Ponyville cards. After a few expansions, you could just make a Ponyville location deck. Or, vice versa, you could make one that's everything but Ponyville. We have the Antique Market. Pay 3 to gain 1 sugar cube. You must pay +1 for each task token on this location. Okay, so if it's first, you know, it's cheaper, but then as you spend more. And the other ones are the same. Pay 3 book for 1 sugar cube, but 1 more for each. Or pay 3 movement +1. That's a neat little card because the first one's going to be cheaper. It's going to be 3. The second one will be 4. And then the last one will be 5. So you kind of have to decide, like, what can we afford or what can we earn quickly enough or easily enough. Very, very interesting. Alright, so we're going to hop into some of our main deck cards. We're going to start with our artifacts, which are our most powerful cards. We have Boneless. Also noticing these artifacts are a little bit cheaper. Lots of times, most sets are like 6 or 7. These are 4s and 5s. Which again, might just maybe offset the other characters being a little bit more powerful, or just giving some variety. Ongoing, you may perform 1 repeatable task allocation twice in the same turn. You may remove this card from the game to gain 1 sugar cube of 1 color you have none of. Alright, so very, very good effects, not bad at all. Smarty Pants. Ongoing, you may perform one repeatable task twice at the same location. You may remove this card from the game to gain 1 sugar cube for each flipped character card. So this would be one if you wait till the right time, you could gain up to 4 sugar cubes, which could be very powerful. Boulder. Ongoing, you may keep up to 1 unplayed card in your hand at the end of your turn before you draw up to your current hand limit. You may remove this card from the game to gain 5 book. This is a fun mechanic, because it lets you basically be like, oh, I need, the most I need is 2 move to do this thing, but I have a card in my hand, I have 5 move, you could keep the 3 move card in your hand till the next turn to be able to use it again. And then if you really absolutely have to, nope, I need just 5 book desperately. I love the fact these artifacts are sacrificable, because ongoing effects are pretty darn nice, but the fact is you have the option to like chuck them for a pretty decent one-time effect. Alicorn Amulet. Ongoing, draw 2 cards at the start of your turn. Ongoing, discard 1 sugar cube you control at the end of your turn. Otherwise, you must remove this card from the game. Oh, so that's also fun. Really powerful ongoing effect, but instead of a one-time discard, it's a sacrifice. So how long can you keep affording to keep drawing 2 cards? Very cool. Pinkie Pie's Party Cannon. Ongoing. When removing cards from play, you must choose to remove cards in your hand or from your discard pile. Oh, you may choose. Oh, so it gives you the option. That's good as well. Because sometimes like, oh, you may remove a card from your hand. You know, oh, but like, I don't have anything in my hand I want to get rid of. But I have starter cards in my discard pile. Or vice versa. You just shuffled your deck up so you have nothing in your discard pile. But it tells you to do that. Cool. You may move this card from the game to discard 1 situation from the adventure roll. That's nice, because that could be very helpful. And our last artifact is Apple Family History Volume 137. Ongoing at the start of each of your turns, you may pay 1 sugar cube to gain 1 sugar cube from the supply. You may move this card from the game and remove 2 cards in your discard pile from the game. Very good. Like those. Alright, we're going to head into our allies. Alright, so there are a lot of 1 copies of each of these, so we'll just assume there's 1 copy unless I say otherwise. They have a lot more unique allies than some of the other sets. So we have Thorax, who has the leader keyword. When you play this card, it gains the game text of any 1 ally with a different name that you control. Oh, that is definitely a neat effect. We have Starlight Glimmer, a pupil in need. So it's very interesting about some of these pupil cards that we're going to come across is, 1, it's going to gain us a cloud, and 2, this specifically calls out one of the characters. So these are ones I would maybe look at if you're playing with this set together. Very good card. If you're mixing and matching, if you're not using Princess Luna, take this card out. And there's going to be ones like this for each of the 4 characters. They do this in every set. So yeah, so when you start mixing and matching sets together, I would probably just take out these ones because they're not going to be as powerful if you're not having this. Having the 1 extra cloud is definitely worth getting the lunar token. But if you're not playing with Princess Luna and getting that token, that 1 extra one might not be worth the cost. That could be up to you. Alright, then we also have Twilight Sparkle, a student indeed, which gets us Princess Celestia may gain a Celestial token. Flurry Heart. Princess Candace may gain 1 ally card from the adventure roll with cost 4 or less resources. They have a baby and they're very disheveled. And then Spearhead. Shiny Armor may gain 1 action card from the adventure roll that costs 4 or less resources. So those are the 4 that kind of like call out the other characters. We have The parents, these are really fun cards. Twilight Velvet and Night Lady. Adventure Roll. If discarded from the Adventure Roll, add 2 to the challenge called to the final challenge. Draw 1 card, then Twilight Sparkle may gain 1 cube. Oh, I didn't even see that. These are also, because the parents are going to include abilities aimed toward each character. Neat. Yeah, so just drawing a card, not bad, but gaining an extra sugar cube by playing a specific one. This could really be a nice one for like mixing and matching to like make more customized deck to make your game a little bit easier. Hondo Flakes and Cookie Crumbles. Same thing, Adventure Roll is discarded, add 2 card to the final challenge. Gain +2 book token, then rarity may gain a green sugar cube. Bow Hot Hoof and Windy Whistle. The Adventure Roll. If discarded from the Adventure Roll, active player discards 2 sugar cubes. So they're kind of nice. They get big penalties for getting discarded. Gain a +2 move token. Rainbow Dash may gain a sugar cube. Angelus Rock Pie and Cloudy Quartz. If discarded, add 2 cloud to the final challenge. Flip your character card to its starting side. Then, Pinkie Pie may gain 1 pink cube. Granny Smith. Adventure Roll. If they're discarded, active player must discard 2 sugar cubes. Gain 1 sugar cube. Applejack may gain a green cube. And then the last one like that is Mr. and Mrs. Shy. If discarded from the Adventure Roll, active player discards 2 resource tokens. Gain a +2 luck token. Fluttershy may gain 1 cube. So it only works for the base set characters, so it'd be interesting. I'm wondering if maybe they didn't have cards like that in the base game, and this is their way of kind of making that up. Alright, so then we have Philomena, who's a pet. +3 book if you resolve a situation this turn. So there's not a lot of pets in this game, but this will work well with keywords from the other set. We have Iron Will. Place the next card you buy this turn on top of your deck instead of your discard pile. But note, he also gives you a cloud. We have Nurse Redheart. Flip a character card from its flip side to its starting side. Again, gives you a cloud, but gains you the bonus. So a lot of these things are going to give you that ability to flip over, give you good things, but they're going to get you more clouds. But I think Luna and Celeste should probably make up for some of that. Now we have 2 copies of each of these. We have Cheese Sandwich. Laugh out loud like someone just told a joke. Then each player in your location gains a +2 luck token. 2 copies of Prince Rutherford, who's a leader. Perform the Yak Smash by banging your hands on the table and your feet on the floor. Then when you're tired, each player draws 1 card. 2 copies of Zakora. +3 luck if there's at least 3 clouds on the final challenge. So definitely gets better as the game goes on. And then finally we have the 2 copies of Sunburst. Gain a +2 book for each leader you have discovered. So yeah, the discovery mechanics in here. And the keywords are in here, but these aren't relied on super heavy in this set. They have some other effects, which is really good because some of the other previous expansions relied heavily on those ideas of the discovery or stuff with traits and that. So it's nice to get a set that's not just based on that. Alright, then we are going to jump into the action cards. Sorry. And we'll 2 copies of each of these until I say otherwise. So we have Let the Games Begin. +2 move if there's at least 1 cloud on the final challenge. So that's just neat. These cards also gain a couple of these cards are gaining bonuses if you have clouds, which you're going to get. So they're kind of rewarding you for that. Performing with the pony tones. +2 luck gives you 1 character on its flipped side. Sister Trip. Each player at your location gains a +2 move token. Becoming Teacher of the Month. You may give one sugar cube you control to another player. Do you have a monthly payment plan? You may discard one or more resource tokens you control, max to 3, then draw the same number of cards. Art is so evocative. +2 for each situation in the adventure row. You don't want to get that. I mean, if there's a bunch, very good card, but you don't want to have a lot of those. To the scene of the crime. You may move to another location. If you do, draw one card, then discard one card. Ponies too heavy on vanilla extract. You may place one card from your hand on the back on top of your deck. So yeah, these are nice, I guess, because if you didn't need the card, you draw it for your next turn. It's definitely a nice idea. No rest for the Wizardly. +1 move for each different trait you have discovered. So this is very good. A lot of traits are most of the cards. Alright, then there's only one of each of these last few cards. So we have Maybes Are for Babies. In the adventure row, when this card is purchased, add one card to the active challenge. And it gives you one card, but it gives you 2 of each. So lower cost, bigger penalty. Who doesn't love musical theater? Sing Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do. Then each player at your location gains a +2 luck token. Joining the Feelings Forum. After gaining one green sugar cube from this card, oh, that's cool. It just provides a cube right away. You may gain, if you control only one, gain one additional cube. Oh, these are very powerful. We have a couple of these. We have Think You Can Outgoof Me, so it gives you a pink after you gain one pink. If you only have one, gain an additional one. And Purchase of a Lifetime gives you a blue one. So this could be very helpful if you like just did a hurdle or a challenge. You could go ahead and spend these. Or we just had a card earlier that you give a sugar cube to another player. Look, I can play this card, get my bonus one, give one away, give them away to other players or spend them, and then play this card again when it comes back up to gain 2 more. So it gives you reasons to spend or give them away, because you could keep gaining them quicker. Cool. Face Your Fears. You may remove up to 2 cards in your discard pile from the game. For each non-starter that you remove this way, gain 1 resource token. You'll play your part. Draw 1 card for each leader you have discovered, a max of 3. And our final action card is Flim Flam Miracle Curative Tonic. Ignore any active cloud cover effects for the rest of your turn. Oh, that is very neat. I don't think I've even seen that effect yet. Alright. Then we have our situation cards, which we have 8 of them, 2 of each. So we have 2 copies of 2 copies of each of them. The same top ability, but the same for all 4 cards. Add 1 card to the final challenge for each time a player is removed from the game. Just basically, they're going to penalize you for removing your cards. Now, what's definitely fun with these is you don't have to include them. Add them in if you want a little bit more of a challenge into your game. Add 2 of them, add 4 of them, add 8 of them. However you like. If you mix and match these with other expansions or core set, you could do 1 copy of each and have 8 different cards. Or if you have multiple expansions, shuffle them all together, because each set has a different main type of ability. So right now, if you always know that's the idea, oh, okay, these are out, I just can't remove cards, you kind of can play around that. But when you have if you have 3 or 4 different ones, you don't know what one's going to come up, it can kind of make you a little bit more of a surprise. Alright, so the Ball of Silence says, Resolve, pay 6 move, reduce this by half if you control an ally. Plus the Resolve abilities are all different as well. Last Ride on the Wild Blue Yonder. Pay 6 luck, reduces by half if you controlling ally. A Complete Stick in the Mud. Resolve, pay 6 book, reduces by half if you controlling ally. And then the final one is Twilight Vacation. Pay 8 luck, reduces by half if you do not control any sugar cubes. Reward, target player gains a sugar cube. It's definitely cool. Alright. Then we have, before we jump into our hurdles and challenges, we have our brand new mechanic for the game. So there's the back of them. We have some new oversized cards. I'm going to pop back out just a little. These are festival cards. So basically how these are going to work is these will be additional cards you'll set off to the side. 5, 6, 7. There's 8 of them. You'll play 2 each game. After you complete your first hurdle, because you'll have 3 hurdles in the game, you flip one over. So you'll have nothing, and after you complete your first hurdle, you'll have a hurdle and a festival. After you defeat the second hurdle, you'll flip to a new festival and a new hurdle. And then what happens is, when you do that, you get to play these extra present tokens. And you put one by each one of these little sides here. And then as you complete these by revealing these cards, you get these abilities. She says you must discard at least 1 ally when completing a festival requirement. But during your turn, they discard 1 set of traits that match these. So for designing the sets, I have to discard 2 moon traits, but at least one of them has to be an ally. It could just be an ally that has 2 moons on it, but it might be an ally in an action card or ally in a starter card. Sorry, I don't think action cards have them. So it's probably going to be just your allies or maybe one of your starting cards. And then you flip it over and you get the reward for it. And the reward tokens can be used whenever you need them to do whatever you need. And you can see they have various different things. So the other kind of catch to them is, so when the first hurdle is defeated, you flip them over, you have access to them. When you defeat that second hurdle, the first festival goes away, the second one comes out. If when you defeat the last hurdle before you go to the final challenge, if you have not removed all the presents, it's going to penalize you. You'll put 3 clouds on the final challenge for each present you didn't get rid of. So if you rush into the final challenge, you're like, oh, we're running out of time, our deck's running out, or it's getting too many clouds, we have to turn around and stop it. If you ignore the festival, you're going to like really penalize yourself. But also realizing taking time to do festival is going to give the challenges more time to do stuff. So again, these are cards that you can include if you want. They're going to make the game somewhat more challenging because you have something else to work on. You're spending your time and resources on. Because you don't gain the effects of these cards when you discard them. So if I discard an ally card for this. So for example, as if I would discard Iron Will to help pay for one of these 2 different moons, I don't gain his abilities for the turn. Because you're not using them that way. Alright, so that's basically all those work. So we're going to go ahead and jump through all these. We have Hearthwarming Event Pageant. So we have designing the sets, tailoring the costumes, and rehearsing the script. Classmates uses leaders. The crystalling, prepare the crystaller. Constructing the magical barrier and harnessing the energy crystal. Equestria Games, forming the sports committee, lighting the ceremonial flame, and training the competitors. So you do not have to do these in order either. Which is also fun. This has the Wonderbolt keyword, which we have not seen in this set. So I like the fact they're including keywords from other sets. Grand Galloping Gala, just dressing the dance floor, preparing the food, and handing out invitations. Hearts and Hooves Day, baking cupcakes, wrapping chocolates, and arranging flowers. Nightmare Night, handing out sweet treats, planning activities, and scaring Fluttershy. Sisterhood Social, baking pies, obstacle course creating, and mud hole making. And then finally we have Yixlurberfest, practicing Yagavanaphone solo, commencing stomping, and rebuilding Yakistan. Yeah, so definitely some neat different things there. I really hope that in one of the very future expansions, like they keep this game going for a couple of years, that they include at least one more set that has some more of these, just because it would be fun to be able to have more cards to switch and swap out versus being like a one-time mechanic. It might even be neat to add potentially like negative tokens and negative things in there, so like maybe you get a festival and like something might be like, if you might get a bad token, which might be a risk you take. It might be like easier to complete, but the thing is, you might be like, well, I'm not going to risk it because I don't want a bad effect, but then the cloud effect could be very high, so that's kind of could be like give and take. That might be a neat idea. So then the tokens are basically going to be this: you're going to get a 3 either luck, book, or movement, a sugar cube of pink, green, or blue, or one of any color, a token that either counts as 2 star, 2 moon, or 2 mountain traits, draw 2 cards, discard 1 card, or I think it's actually remove it from play, flip all your character cards, -1 cloud, or gain a card from the resource row that costs 4 or less. Remove 1 card from your hand from the game. So they're kind of good tokens. You're going to get one option of each, and they're going to use them whenever you need them. So that's definitely fun there. Alright, let's head into our hurdles, our last big cards. So like all previous sets, we're going to have these are our final challenges. We'll look at our hurdles first. There's our hurdles. We'll have our costs up here. So it costs, to lose it, it's going to cost 2 per pony plus 2. And of course, our chaos number is down here. Overcome 1 blue cube per pony, then flip for chaos. Reward: target player may remove 1 card from their hand from the game. Setback: each player discards the top card of their discard pile. Top card of the deck to their discard pile. I didn't even read the name of the card. Give us cookies. Welcome the Breezies. 1 green per pony, flip for chaos. Reward: active player may gain 1 ally from the adventure row. Setback: discard all allies with the keyword from the adventure row. Mystery is afoot. 1 pink per pony and flip for chaos. Target player may flip their character card to the starting side. Setback: add 1 cloud to the final challenge for each character with the flip side up. Our level 2 is a little bit more challenging. A pink and a blue. Overcome. Reward: draw a location and do not put it into play. Do not replace this location when all of its non-repeatable tasks are complete. Interesting. The Mysterious Mirror Duel. I should read the names of the cards. And our setback is place 1 task token on the first non-repeatable task of each location. This could definitely suck to have them covered up. Who's the real Pinkie Pie? 1 green and 1 pink. Reward: you may discard 1 non-situation card from the adventure row and replace it immediately. Setback: each player discards the top 2 cards of their discard pile. Then we have that Smooth Talking Featherbangs. Green and blue cubes, and then flip for chaos. Reward: the active player gains 2 resource tokens, or 3 if they do not control any. And then setback, each player reveals their hand and any Crusaders are there from the game. And I don't think there's any Crusaders in this game. Our level 3 are the mean 6. 2 green, 1 blue. For the overcome reward, each player may shuffle their discard pile back into their deck. Setback, each player must remove 1 artifact they control from the game. What's my cutie mark telling me? Overcome is 2 blue and 1 pink. Reward, active player gains 1 sugar cube or 2 if they do not control any. And setback, each player must discard all resource tokens they control. And our final hurdle is a changeling can change. 2 pink and 1 green. And flip for chaos. Reward, remove 1 cog from the final challenge. But the setback is add 1 cog to the final challenge for each player who controls at least 1 sugar cube. Very powerful. Alright, now our final challenges are Captives in the Changeling Kingdom. Cloud Cover, +3, add 1 to this card for each unsuccessful attempt to overcome a hurdle. And 8+, all players must be at the same location to overcome hurdles. Ooh, that could be challenging. And then overcome, each player must contribute 1 blue and 1 green, then flip for 2 chaos. Dishonorable Discharge. 3+, players cannot flip their resource tokens for use as a 1 wild resource. 8+, purchasing cards from the adventurer requires at least 1 resource token. Overcome, each player must contribute 1 pink and 1 green, and then flip for 2 chaos. And then the other level 3 is Perilous Plunder Sea to Plumage. +3, players may only move to a different location once during their turn. And 8+, each time a player finishes reshuffling their deck, they must discard the top card immediately. And overcome is 1 blue and 1 pink, include 2 chaos. And our final hurdle, the boss, is Lord Trirect Escapes Tartarus. 3+, when a player ends their turn, they must discard 1 non-situation card from the adventure row. 8+, reveal 1 additional hurdle for its chaos when overcoming the active challenge or hurdle. Overcome 1 pink, blue, and green. Very cool. Yes, there's some definitely interesting new things in this game. New mechanics are really neat. I do like the fact that none of the cards rely on festivals or mention festivals. They're a really neat mechanic and idea. And again, I would like to see like more of them. But it's also really fun that they didn't specifically mention them. There wasn't something that was like, oh, add another, like re-add a present to this thing, or cover up or remove a present from the festival, or make a festival like 1 cost cheaper or something. This can only be used towards festivals, because then it limits these cards to being used with that game mechanics. It's neat that it can be added or removed as you feel the need, because it does make the game a little bit more challenging, because it adds more things for you to do, but you can gain extra rewards, which could be very beneficial, so that could potentially make the game easier. If you ignore the cloud cover final challenge thing, you just have it be a free bonus. Maybe for like the first, second time you use them, if you just want to make the game a little bit easier. Just extra bonuses. Hey, I have extra resources I can spend to gain these. Definitely cool. Again, homebrew your game. It's your game. Do what you'd like. So that is what we have for this game. The last thing we want to show off are our special meeples. So if you pre-order these games from Renegade Studios, you gain a free bonus. For the My Little Pony games, they are full meeples of your characters. Obviously, this game is no longer pre-ordered. You can go ahead and purchase this from their store. And have these if you'd like to use these instead of the standees. They're about $5 a pack, but if you do enjoy these and you're going to keep buying these games, it's very highly recommended to go ahead and pre-order them. And you can pre-order them, like, I think within like a week or two even after they come out. So it's not like you have to pre-order them 6 months in advance. but they'll replace their tokens of the same size, physically up and down. They're just a lot thicker, give you a little bit more to hold on to. So definitely neat things. They're not required to play, but they're a cool little extra bonus you can get. So again, you can pick these up for each character's set extra, and then as future sets come out, you can go ahead and pre-order to get this as a free bonus. Alright, so I'm going to scooch this off. That is what we have for Princess Pageantry, part of the My Little Ponies Adventure in Equestria deck building games. Hope you guys enjoyed. Check out the previous videos if you haven't for some reason. Keep an eye out for future expansions. Check out all my other videos. See you guys later. Bye.